China's grip on the global rare earths market has long been a strategic advantage. But what if this dominance is about to backfire spectacularly? The Trump administration is now eyeing ways to counter Beijing's recent export controls, and the stakes couldn't be higher. While President Donald Trump initially responded with a 100% tariff and software restrictions on China, which controls over 90% of the world's processed rare earths, he's hinted at even harsher measures on the horizon. But here's where it gets controversial. Trump claims the U.S. holds far stronger monopoly positions than China, though he's yet to fully deploy them. I have just not chosen to use them. There was never a reason for me to do so. Until now, he declared on Truth Social. Despite Trump's tough talk, Wall Street remains skeptical, viewing his threats as negotiation tactics rather than sustainable policies. Meanwhile, the White House confirms a planned meeting between Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping later this month, suggesting diplomacy isn't entirely off the table. Yet, China's rare earth restrictions have sent shockwaves through global markets, with some experts warning they could effectively forbid any country from participating in the modern economy due to the mineral's critical role in technology. And this is the part most people miss. Capital Economics notes that Beijing's policy is actually narrower than initially feared. However, economists Julian Evans Pritchard and Leah Fay argue that China's move was a risky gamble, potentially aimed at strengthening its negotiating position after the U.S. refused to roll back tariffs. Whatever the motivation, there is a risk that China's actions could backfire, they caution. So, how could the U.S. retaliate? For starters, America's control over the commercial aviation supply chain could be weaponized by blocking exports of critical components or even entire aircraft. Additionally, with 90% of Chinese laptops and PCs still running Windows, Trump could pressure Microsoft to halt sales and updates, leaving systems vulnerable to unpatched security flaws. Domestic alternatives exist, but as Huawei's experience shows, such a switch would likely diminish the global appeal of Chinese tech, Evans Pritchard and Fahey note. But it doesn't stop there. China's reliance on U.S.-made chips and chipmaking tools remains significant, despite existing export limits. Trump could expand these controls, dealing a severe blow to Chinese manufacturers. Furthermore, the U.S.'s dominance in global finance could be leveraged by sanctioning more Chinese firms, freezing their dollar-denominated assets and restricting access to the SWIFT payment system. Here's where it gets even more contentious. Washington could pressure allies to impose their own trade restrictions on China, further isolating it from advanced economies. Mexico has already proposed tariffs of up to 50% on certain Chinese products, signaling a potential shift in global trade dynamics. At worst, China may find itself cut off from Western markets and technology to an even greater degree than it is today. Capital Economics warns. Is this the beginning of a deeper U.S.-China decoupling, or just another chapter in their trade war? What do you think? Are Trump's threats credible, or merely negotiation tactics? And could China's rare earths gamble ultimately weaken its global standing? Let us know in the comments. This debate is far from over.